don't know you. What's your first name?
Doris Elena.
Doris? Okay. So do you have any kids?
Yeah, I have one son and 2 grandchildren.
My name is Mac Vasson. My age, I'm 36 years old. My relationship to Doris Vasson, I'm her son. My mother, she, from my understanding, she's diagnosed with schizophrenia, more specifically paranoid schizophrenia. She's had that, from my understanding, again, this is from family telling me, ever since I was born.
After I left the hospital 15 years ago, I was diagnosed in the clinic with depression and anxiety, and no schizophrenia.
Okay, my name is Herman Garzon, and youngest brother of Doris Vasson. From day one, when she was young, she was thought as a very intelligent the arts, and the art she was really good at it. She studied actually graphic design and architecture.
Oh, I went to the University of Bogota, Tadeo Lozano, and I studied drafting, architectural drafting, publicity, and decoration. It was nice, beautiful career. I was doing well, but then I get nervous breakdown.
1971, she married her former husband, John Vasson. Her husband was a normal person and very, very gentle when he was sober.
No, he has a problem. He's an alcoholic. But he's Alcoholics Anonymous. And he's handled it better.
At that time, she was telling out all the nightmares that she has to go through with her husband.
He got married. I got divorced after my birth. He got married with another woman. After my separation, I hear his voice here in the kitchen. I recognize his voice. I can hear me. He said things from the past. We had a good time together. Only that he destroyed everything when he was drunk. So I just couldn't stand that. It was misery. It was panic. It was horror. Oh, awesome. It was no way. No, impossible.
After I was born, my mother almost immediately went back to Colombia. My grandparents were, like, when they found out what she had, from my understanding, they were devastated. They did everything they could in Colombia, whatever medical offerings they had and out of their own money to help cure her, but I don't think anything ever worked.
And she was treated in Colombia's hospitals for quite some time.
Headaches, I get headaches. Headaches here and here.
Obviously, she was also a kind of handful for people, for our rest of the family over there.
My family supported me in Colombia a lot. I wanted to work because I'm worried too much about the economic way expenses.
And also because heard that the treatment in Colombia was kind of really, I didn't agree with the treatment she was receiving.
Because in Colombia I have electric shocks. Here. My twisted, funny ones. But my father did well. I was dying in Colombia.
To the point that it was really doing more damage than not. So, and that's why I agreed to take her back here.
She returned back to Canada, and my uncle Herman and Yolanda were here, and we stayed with them, and she was having relapses at that time as well. So on and off from when I was about 5 years old till about, my guess, 10, 11 years old, my mother was in and out of London Hospital.
I spent 17 months in the clinic. And, no helpful. I was very worried. I feel like dying in the beginning. because I am completely alone, completely lonely, very unpleasant, very unhappy.
It was just disruptive for me, and I really didn't know what was going on. All I knew is that she was sick during that period of time. When I became a teenager, things sort of changed. I realized what she had. I was quite angry about it. I wasn't really mad that people didn't tell me, but it's just I didn't really understand what it was, and I couldn't understand why my mother was having lots of problems in sort of communicating with me. She'd have voices that she'd hear and say, Max, someone's calling me, a bitch, but in Spanish, but nobody in the building that we lived in or around her even spoke Spanish, so it made no sense to me, and I sort of caught on going, hey, this isn't right. And when you live with that for the majority of your life, it can become quite frustrating.
After the clinic, he took care of the rent and telephone and cable and everything.
Because she couldn't run her finances when I was in high school, and that obviously was evident when I'd come home and there wouldn't be any food in the fridge. I basically got power of attorney over her when I was 18 or 19, and I just made sure I ran everything for her.
He actually, in very young age, had the responsibility to look after her mother.
I didn't have a father that was there. I had certain mentors, like my uncles and aunts, that would support me. I also had a big brother from Big Brothers Association. He was probably one of the best mentors I ever had. He definitely was the one that encouraged me the most to go to university out of anybody, and very concerned about my education. And I'd say it was probably him that made me work hardest. Like him and then in part my uncles and aunts that influenced me to pursue further education beyond high school. Right around the end of high school, we had doctors involved, the police involved. We had to have her forcibly assessed about her not taking medication and not taking care of herself, because she was becoming a danger to herself because of not taking the antipsychotics that she was required to take. The government had to impose that she'd have to take injections. The doctor said that you can't take oral medications for the antipsychotics, and she'd have to take injections every 2 weeks. And if she doesn't, somebody would be coming to check up and say, guess what, you got to go to the hospital, take the injections. And ever since she's been doing that, things have been quite stable for her, more or less. I mean, she still has the delusional episodes where she'll hear voices, she'll think somebody says something to her, but nothing compared to when she was on the antipsychotics orally. So, for somebody to just at times be in a world that nobody understands, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be that person, and unfortunately that's my mom. And like when she's delusional and thinks people are saying things to her, she's in her own world there. And me looking from the outside, I think that's awful.
Do you feel like you lead a normal life?
Oh yeah, lonely.